All right, hey guys and girls, this is Rudy. I want to make a video tonight, and I have very limited time because I want to play 2 clips, and it's going to take up a good portion of my 10 minutes. So I'm going to talk really fast. Also, I have to keep my voice down a little bit because there's people sleeping upstairs. But a friend of mine recently recommended a book to me, and I've been reading it. It's called Conversations with God. It's been on the New York bestseller list for over 137 weeks. Not recently, but I think in the late 1990s. So it's still a very popular book. People subscribe to the themes of the book. And let me also say that the person who recommended it to me, I think, is very sincere and has righteous intentions. And so it's okay that we disagree. And I'm going to have a very brutal opinion about the book, but that doesn't mean I have a brutal opinion about the person who recommended it to me. I want to make that very clear. And it's okay that we have different opinions, although I do believe that if you subscribe to the message of the book, you are being deceived. And I want to explain why I believe that. And then, let's open it up for discussion. If other people have different opinions, let me know what you think. But when I read the book, Conversations with God by Neale Walsch, there's various things that it puts forth. And I'm going to play a clip from the book so you'll actually hear what it has to say. And then after that, I'm going to play a clip from some actual Satanists. Anton Levy had a daughter, and there was another guy that was sitting beside her who was like in charge of the Werewolf Society or something. But these were actual Satanists that were being interviewed, and they talk about the message of Satan. And whether you're in a flowery language that Neale Walsch puts it in, or whether you're actually uttered from the mouth of a Satanist, the message is still the same. And some of the things that I totally disagree with that are being put forth in the book, and I'm going to play it for you too. And if you have to read the whole book to kind of get the, and I'm about 60% done. I still have a ways to go. But it's that we should unconditionally love everyone. Also, that there is no such thing as right and wrong. There is no such thing as should and should not. Also, that let me go back to the "we are all one" thing. Right. First of all, I'm not all one with anybody. I am myself. I'm a unique individual created by God with free will, and I will fight to keep my uniqueness. I do not want to be one with any single person on this whole planet, and I damn sure ain't going to be one with pedophiles that have molested children. I damn sure ain't going to be one with these international bankers, and I damn sure ain't going to be one with these sellouts in the media and these traitors in our government. No matter what happens in this life, I'm not going to be reunited with them as one spiritual life force later on. That's never going to happen. I've heard this same message put forth so many times that we're all one, unconditionally love everybody. There is no such thing as right and wrong. And you're going to hear in this clip from this book that Hitler went to heaven. Now I want you to remember that, and I want you to remember what the Satanists actually utter when they are interviewed. But let me tell you that there is definitely a thing called right and wrong. And if you don't stand up and fight for what's right, and if you don't have a baseline on what is right in life, you're going to be deceived. You're going to allow tyranny to come up on the land. The moral and ethical foundations of a society will fade away, and our children are going to grow up in the biggest hell that you can possibly imagine. People will quote me verses like, the Bible says we should forgive everybody. Yes, that's true. The Bible does say we should pray for our enemies, and we should forgive those who trespass against us. But there is a huge difference in forgiving your enemy and the consequences that will come upon them when they perform some heinous act. Now, if a pedophile does something to a member of my family, I will pray to God to have the courage to forgive him, but that still doesn't mean he's not going to take a bullet to his head. So there's a difference between forgiving somebody and the consequences that will happen when you perform a criminal act. So again, I'm running out of time. Let me play you the clip and let's listen to it together. And I want you to pay very close attention to the message. Now let me set the context up of the book real quick, and this may go more than one video. If it does, so be it. But this guy, he wrote Conversations with God. His name is Neale Walsch. What he does is he writes his questions, and he claims that God is providing the answers. And sometimes God is in a female voice, and sometimes God is in a male voice. But the message from God in this book is constantly just do whatever you want to do. Hitler went to heaven. There is no such thing as right and wrong. Unconditionally love everyone, no matter what they're doing. We are all one. We're all gods. There's nothing even that they also say that there's nothing to learn, that we already know everything, which is an absolute absurdity as well. Because go study electronics, or go study science, or go study astrophysics. Right? There's definitely things to learn, and I guarantee you we don't already know it. And they're like putting out the idea of discipline, hard work, applying yourself to an education. One of the themes of the book is you already know it all. Just remember it, and just remember your godly self. Which the whole book is a message from Satan, as far as I'm concerned, and it's to get people to feel warm and comfy about accepting all the evil of the world and not fighting it. That's the way I see it anyway. Now, some people will say that because I'm a Christian, I'm afraid of the message, and I just need to accept the message. And you Christians are always, you just get upset and you're afraid of new thoughts. And why can't you just believe we're all God and we're all going to go to heaven and there is no such thing as hell and there is no such thing as right or wrong? Let me set the record straight. I'm not afraid of the message. I'm not afraid of new thoughts, and I'm willing to consider new thoughts, and I'm willing to apply a lot of thought process, right? But I'm telling you that my experience and my belief systems tell me that there is such a thing as right and there is such a thing as wrong. And I'm not afraid of the message. If I have to go meet my Maker tomorrow, I'll go meet my Maker tomorrow. But I believe that my Maker wants me to stand up and fight for what's right and wrong, and that the standard for what's right and wrong is in the Bible. And Jesus Christ laid down some basic laws of human interaction and social behavior that are right. And we should study those and learn them as much as possible. Now, you'll say, well, like Zeitgeist the movie, right? Zeitgeist the movie says that moral values and morality and ethics will change over time, and that this wasn't acceptable years ago, but it's acceptable now, and what's not acceptable now was acceptable then. And I don't believe that for a second. Muhammad married a 6-year-old and screwed her at 9 years old. Now, some people will say, well, that was acceptable back then, and it's not acceptable now. It wasn't acceptable back then. And I don't care what culture you're from or what your skin color is. Marrying a 6-year-old and screwing her at 9 years old is wrong. And that was wrong back then, and it's wrong now. And there are moral and ethical foundations of a society that will not change. And it's those standards are set forth from the Bible, and those standards are what a society should be built upon. Now, I know there's a lot of things in the Bible that I can't explain, and I don't claim to be things that I'm not, right? I'm not a Bible scholar, but I am trying to learn. And the problem is, if you rip out Christianity from a society, who will replace what is right and what is wrong? Well, the people that will replace it are the people that have the power, and the people that have the power are about the most corrupt people that you can possibly imagine. And for all you people that say, well, look at all the wars and the people that have died in the name of religion, I don't disagree with you, because I think that the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes, they control mainstream religion. And I do not defend mainstream religion, because I think they commit a lot of evil in the world. But having said that, the evil that they create should not be confused with the message that was put forth by Jesus Christ in the Bible. So, one of Satan's most powerful messages is there is no such thing as right and wrong. And if you buy into that thought process, you're going to ruin society, because the people that will substitute the moral and ethical foundation that the Bible created it's going to be so bad that you can't even begin to imagine how bad it's going to get. At least that's my opinion. Let me play the clip from the book. It looks like I am going to run over my 10 minutes. I wish I didn't have to do that, but that's going to be the case. I'm going to play a clip from the book, and I'll probably have to edit this so that it all gets into 2 parts. And then I'm going to play the video from the Satanists. And I want you to see how similar their messages are. I want you to see how similar the books, and keep in mind this female voice that you're going to hear is supposed to be God. And it says, she'll say, because in the book she's speaking as God, there is no such thing as right and wrong. I love Hitler. Hitler went to heaven. And then you're going to hear the Satanists talk. And they basically have the same message. There is no such thing as right and wrong. Jesus was a fictional character. And that, I just want you to see, whether you wrap flowery messages around it or whether you utter it from the mouth of a Satanist, the message is the same, and it's a tool of Satan as far as I'm concerned. But let's hear what the book has to say, and this is from Conversations with God by Neale Walsch. The female voice that you hear is supposed to be God speaking. So here goes.
I despise nothing. None of it is repulsive to me. It's life. And life is the gift, the unspeakable treasure, the holy of holies. I am life, for I am the stuff life is. Its every aspect has a divine purpose. Nothing exists nothing without a reason understood and approved by God.
How can this be? How can this be? What of the evil which has been created by man?
You cannot create a thing, not a thought, an object, an event, no experience of any kind which is outside of God's plan. For God's plan is for you to create anything, everything, whatever you want. In such freedom lies the experience of God being God. And this is the experience for which I created you, and life itself. Evil is that which you call evil, yet even that I love. For it is only through that which you call evil that you can know good. Only through that which you call the work of the devil that you can know and do the work of God.